AM 1460, the new WXBR. You are listening to the Metro South Morning Show, PM in the AM. Peter Czymbor and Mike Paiva here with you on this Friday morning. Still joined in studio by Derek, the movie guy. Joining us right now via the telephone is Reba Merrill. She's an Oscar voter who spent over 20 years in the publicity trenches of Hollywood. Her book, Nearly Famous: Secrets, Lies, and Addiction, is a Hollywood tell-all and is available now. So we welcome into the program Miss Reba Merrill. Reba, good morning and welcome to the program. As an Oscar voter, just 2 days before the Academy Awards, I'm sure that you were excited.
I would have been more excited if I was going.
Yeah, let's talk about this. You would be more excited if you were going to the Academy Awards. How many times have you been to the Academy Awards in the past, and why are you denied access to the award show this year?
Well, I went last year, asked for the same seats. You have to send a check-in to be into what they call the lottery, but the lottery is very interesting because for the first 5 years I was in the Academy, I wrote a check for the most expensive seats, thinking, well, even though I'm nobody in the scheme of things in Hollywood, I'm neither an actress or a director or a producer, these are the power players, but I figured my money was good as anybody else, and I never got in. So then I switched to the $50 seats, and I got in any time I wanted to go.
So you go for the cheap seats, and you'll get in any time you want to go, except for this year. And why is it that you are not going this year? Has that been fully explained to you, or has it been inferred to you?
It's more inferred. When I sent my check in for the exact same seats that I got last year, which were a little better they were the next to the cheap seats. Okay, they were a little lower. In the theater, and when I never got the letter, either returning my check or saying I wasn't going, I called up and I said, I haven't gotten my Oscar ticket letter, and he says, you've been denied. And he wouldn't tell me why, but somebody had called me and said that because I had written a blog that's called "It Takes More Than Talent to Win an Oscar," it's the way the Academy works. They don't actually say it. They just wield a very strong hand.
What do you think was said in the blog that upset them?
About all the shenanigans that go once the nominations come out. There are all these secret implied innuendos and the perfect example is, well, the more obvious one was the Woody Allen, where he, was accused of molesting after 20-some years. They brought it out again, and she begged the Academy not to reward the actresses, Kate Blanchett or Sally Hawkins. That was obvious, but the more subtle one was The Wolf of Wall Street, where the rumor was this movie didn't depict the poor people that got taken, and it put Leonardo DiCaprio on the defensive, explaining that that's not what the movie was, instead of letting him talk about working with Martin Scorsese, the whole experience in a positive way. That's the game they played. They actually destroyed the hurricane, and Denzel's chances of getting an Oscar.
Now, how does someone get an Oscar vote, and what are some of the shenanigans that go about from different people who are nominated once they are vying for the same award? Because I've heard stories about people putting out ads in certain trade newspapers and things of that nature, trying to get their name out. What are some of the things that are done from your experiences as both an Oscar voter and someone who's worked as a Hollywood publicist?
Well, I was never a publicist connected to any of the Oscar films. I am in the publicity branch because it was the only way that I could go onto a union set. This was the only union set that had anything to do with what I was doing, which was interviewing movie stars on their set. So I'm not a biblical publicist. I'm really a television producer, but that's not here nor there. The truth of the matter is they spend a lot of money. It starts with the parties. Some of the parties start before the nominations. I have to tell you, I went to an absolutely incredible party at the Polo Lounge. I'm sure you've heard of the Polo Lounge. A very big Beverly Hills hotel, and it was for Saving Mr. Banks. And they had all the stars there. I take it back. They did not have Tom Hanks because he was busy promoting Captain Phillips. So I kept getting invited to parties. Normally that's what they do. It's either a luncheon or a dinner. I mean, the one at the Polo Lounge was the most elegant buffet dinner. It wasn't they had so many people there that I took a picture of the sing-along of all the music from Mary Poppins, which is, of course, what the movie's about. And I asked the man standing next to me, because I couldn't see anything, there were so many people, if he would take a picture for me, because he was 6'5". And he did. They all, including everybody that was in the movie, including Sean Penn and Emma Thompson. And it turned out later that the 6'5" guy that took the picture for me was Sean Penn's security guy.
Well, there you go. We're chatting with Reba Merrill, an Oscar voter here on AM 1460, the new WXBR, author of Nearly Famous, Secret Lies and Addiction. Reba, you've seen every single film that has been nominated for an Oscar award this year. You have your picks, obviously, as a voter. You cannot disclose your picks on the air as a result of you being a voter. However, you can tell us who you think the front runners are and things of that nature. Prior to you coming on the air with us this morning, we discussed in great detail our very own Derek the Movie Guy's picks of who should and who will win this Sunday night. And I would like the two of you to compare and contrast. So, Derek, should we take it from the top or take it from the bottom and move our way up the top? You tell Reba what you think, and Reba, you respond.
Well,
Okay.
Reba, who do you have for supporting actress?
Now, who do you have for supporting
Well,
actor?
I have Lupita Nyong'o winning.
I think the word is that Jennifer Lawrence has pushed ahead.
Really?
Yes.
See-
It's a two-way talk. I don't think anybody else can put their toe in the water. But there's more talk now about that performance that Jennifer did.
Yeah, I thought she was phenomenal. I actually, when we were talking earlier, I actually think she should win, but I thought Lupita Nyong'o would win because she won the SAG award, and that usually correlates pretty well with the Academy Awards.
But wait a minute. American Hustle won the SAG, too, for Ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember why that used to be important until this year is there are 2,600 members of the Oscar branch. That is the biggest branch that votes for the Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Derek the Movie Guy and Reba the Movie Girl. This is incredible. Derek has found his female counterpart. Derek, continue on from category to category as far as the big ones are concerned, and Reba will discuss.
Well, do you think that Jared Leto is a slam dunk? I said that he's pretty much a slam dunk at this point to win Best Supporting Actor.
I have to agree with you for the simple reason is when I originally saw the movie, I hadn't seen the credits. And when I don't see the credits and I don't know who's up there giving me a performance, that's usually when they grab me.
Right.
I thought his performance was unbelievable. And originally I thought it was a woman
Really?
pretending to be a man.
Yeah. See, I thought Michael Fassbender's performance was more powerful. I think, obviously, because Jared Leto went through this huge transformation, that's one of the reasons why he's getting all this recognition. But I thought Michael Fassbender was just as strong, if not more strong, than Jared Leto.
Well, it's going to be very interesting what happens with 12 Years a Slave, which we will talk about as we progress up the awards. But less people saw that movie, 12 Years a Slave. Not that many more saw Dallas Buyers. But there was so much positive that came out of Matthew's performance that he was pulling Jared along.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, what two categories have we done thus far, Derek?
Supporting actor and supporting actress.
Supporting actor and supporting actress. What would you like to move on to next?
Best actress, Cate Blanchett has to be the favorite there. Even though all this stuff has been coming out about Woody Allen and all that, you would still think that Cate Blanchett will win that, right?
I really believe that she gave a performance of a lifetime. But
I agree.
That's still that little Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
But we've seen Meryl do this before.
Yes.
And we've never seen Kate, especially in the movies that she got nominated. This is a totally different performance. This is not Kate Hepburn in Aviator.
Right.
Okay, so I think you're right, spot on, to tell you the truth.
And what do you think of Best Actor? I think it's Matthew McConaughey, but they could do one of those Oscars to Leonardo DiCaprio to pay him back for past performances. Any chance there? You think that Leo might steal it from Matthew McConaughey?
No, I really don't, and I'll tell you why. Academy members love people that are dying or alcoholics. They love pathetic people. So I think he kind of conquered the world because he looked like he was dying until he died. So I honestly think you're right on top of it.
Reba, we were talking earlier in the program about people who have been snubbed for Oscars in public opinion in the past and perhaps getting what we called makeup awards years later. As a voter, is that something that you take into consideration when it comes time to cast your ballot? Or have you known other voters who have taken that into consideration when it comes time to cast their ballot?
No. I don't know. I mean, to tell you the truth, we do talk about all this voting when it's going on. But nobody has ever brought up that conversation. Nobody ever brought it up. Oh, I think we should give it to him because we skipped him 2 years ago. I think we go for the here and now. I honestly do.
How many people is there in the Academy who vote for the Academy Awards?
6,000 plus a few, like 6,033 or something. And my branch is 300 and plus, and the director's branch is 300 and plus. And the actors' branch is over 2,500. So you can see where a SAG award, in the old days, the SAG awards would have given you who won the Oscar. Not this year.
Well, moving on, Derek, next category, please.
Best Picture. I've heard rumors that Gravity could steal from 12 Years a Slave because, as you mentioned, 12 Years a Slave has been a tough movie for people to watch, and it actually tied for the Producer Guild for Best Picture, 12 Years a Slave and Gravity. Any chance that Gravity steals from 12 Years a Slave?
You know something? There are 3 films that are equally up there. Besides Gravity and 12 Years a Slave, don't forget American Hustle.
Right.
10 nominations.
Right.
Let me tell you what the ballot looked like, the electronic ballot, and maybe you'll have an idea of what in the world is going on. There are 9 films on the ballot. Not 5. There are 5 for every other category except Best Picture. And this is preferential voting. So I had to look at the films and I had to slide across the cursive to put 1 through 9 down. And if my number 1 doesn't get 50% of the votes, then they look to see who got more votes, which could have been a 2, a 3, or a 4. Mm-hmm. So I can't tell you. I mean, I know how I voted, but I'm telling you, this is clearly the most unusual and exciting Oscar season ever. I'm really tired of that we only have one movie that everybody's voting for. I'm sure you remember the days of Titanic and Lord of the Rings. I thought that was boring. This one, I don't think anybody can predict Best Picture. Whether you're right or wrong, I think there are 3 films to be considered, and gee, if they beat each other up, watch The Wolf of Wall Street. Who knows?
True, very true.
And Dark, once again, who was your who should win and who will win for Best Picture this Sunday?
Well, I really loved Gravity. I think that should win, but I think 12 Years a Slave will win.
Have you had that dilemma in the past, Reba, where you cast your ballot, you say this should win, but you know overwhelmingly the rest of the Academy is going to outvote you?
Oh God, do I have to admit to this?
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
Okay. My son worked on Walk the Line.
The Johnny Cash movie.
I voted for that, even though I knew it wasn't going to win. Sorry. It's a mother's vote.
Well, there you go, a mother's vote. If my mom had a vote for the Academy Awards and I was in a movie, I would expect my mom's vote as well.
No, my son wasn't in the movie. My son was the music editor on all that great music.
Well, he had a role in the production of the movie and a lot of great music, Johnny Cash originals.
Yes, and he actually got the highest award that the sound industry can give to a music editor on that particular film. So he's an award-winning, not quite. The Oscars don't acknowledge music editors. They only acknowledge composers, and then they drop into sound.
Well, the mother of an award-winning movie sound editor, Reba Merrill, joining us here on WXPR, also an Oscar voter. Her book is Nearly Famous: Secrets, Lies, and Addictions. Where can folks get the book, Reba?
I'm on Amazon. I heard I'm going to be on Barnes & Noble, too, but for sure I know I'm on Amazon, and I'm even a Kindle. Or you can read the first 2 chapters when you go up there, because I'm giving away the first 2 chapters for anybody that wants to look at it. I have to tell you something. It's really an honor to be an Academy voter, a member. I worked very hard, and I should tell you how I got in.
Absolutely.
I worked, in 1 year, I did 2 films that were nominated. One was Ironweed with Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson, and the other was a simple film called Rain Man with Tom Cruise and Dustin. And as you know, Rain Man won. The Academy is very kind to people that actually are associated with a winning or an Oscar-nominated film. That's how most people get in.
But they're not kind enough to get you a ticket this year, Reba.
Exactly.
Perhaps this interview will push it over the top and you will get in this Sunday night. Just tell them that we here at WXBR in Boston want you there, okay?
I think you're wonderful. In fact, it's so wonderful that you made this my best and most exciting Friday ever.
We are so glad to be a part of your best and most exciting Friday ever, and we still have plenty of the day to go, Reba.
Oh, you do? What else do you want to know?
Well, you know, we've got much more of the day to go. Reba, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the airwaves this morning. Derek and Reba, any final conversions between these two movie gurus?
Reba, I'm very jealous that you have a vote. I'm happy for you, and I can only imagine how trying it can be to try to figure out which movie was the best movie and who gave the best performances. But I hope you enjoyed the experience. I'd love to eventually have that one day.
Well, maybe sometime I can take you to the Oscars if they ever let me buy tickets again.
That would be fantastic.
Reba, we're going to make this happen, and we're going to send a camera crew for our YouTube channel, if you don't mind.
I would love it.
All right, Reba Merrill and Derek, the movie guy, hand in hand going to the Oscars at some point in the future. Reba, thank you so much for joining us in the program this morning. I want to remind the listeners that it's Nearly Famous, Secret Lies and Addiction. Thank you so much. Any final words for our listeners before we let you go?
Well, as I said, this is probably the most exciting Friday I have ever had, and I owe it to how professional, charming, and God, do I love Boston, the Boston area. You guys are all terrific. Remember, I'm a big fan of Ben.
Well, Ben Affleck, former Academy Award winner right here from the Boston area, so we'll tell him that you said hello, Reba. How's that?
And I'll tell him when I see him that you said hello. How's that?
Please do that. Please do that.
Hey.
That's Reba Merrill joining us here on AM 1460, the new WXBR. We'll step aside for a quick break. Mike Paiva brings us a news update. Stick with us.